Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? So in this video today, guys, I want to talk about something that a lot of you guys have requested and a lot of you guys have confusion around, right? And maybe you guys have found yourself in this scenario, right? Peep this. All right, so your car got into an accident, unfortunately, right? And quickly the insurance company is all eager to pay you guys and cut you a check. And you get that check in, you still feel like you weren't fully compensated. All right, your car was probably in the shop for the past 2, 3 months, and now you lost all this revenue, and you just got maybe $1,000 check just for the damage. Meanwhile, your car's been sitting in that shop for 2, 3 months, and even though they paid for the damage, you still feel like an injustice was done to you, like you weren't fully compensated for your time. All right, for the time that your car was out of use. All right, guys, so in this video, then, I'm going to be talking about one aspect where rental car companies lose a lot of freaking money. I tell you, once you learn this concept, guys, you would start to see your bottom line revenue with your rental car business explode exponentially. Now you even start to lick your chops and get happy when you guys have accidents. All right, so today we're going to be talking all about loss of use, guys, what that is and how you guys as a rental car company can claim your rights and don't let these insurance companies out there take advantage of you guys. So let's jump right into it, guys. So what is loss of use, guys? All right, so just to explain it like a seventh grader, basically, if someone crashes your car, right, you are entitled for compensation for that period of time while you do not have your car. All right, you lose the ability to make money with it. All right, for that whole period, you are entitled to loss of use. All right, guys, this applies to even whether it's just your personal car. So even if you don't own a rental car company and this is just your personal car and somebody hit your vehicle and your car's in the shop for a period of time, all right, it applies in that scenario and even more so when you monetize that vehicle, like with the case of rental cars. All right, and this is not just about when you replace it, you get a replacement car, like they give you a rental car or something like. No, this is about the value of the time lost. And this is really important. All right, this is the main key distinction here between just, them paying to put you in a rental car or no, actually paying you for the value of the time that you lost. Okay, so let's talk about how loss of use is calculated so we can kind of bring this home and you guys kind of understand this. All right, so I'm going to just whip out my whiteboard here and let's kind of talk about that. All right, guys, so perfect example, y'all. Let's just say you had a Toyota Camry, right? And so you have a Toyota Camry here, right? And you got this Camry, and I can't draw, guys. You guys are just gonna have to forgive me. That's your little Camry, and this Camry rents out for, let's just say, $100 a day, all right, per day. All right, so you rent your car out for $100 a day. Now this car got into a wreck, right? Somebody hit the car, boom, car gets in a wreck, and now it's in the shop. All right, so car's in the shop. Let's just say now this car is in the shop, and this car had always been out regularly. This car's always stays gone months at a time. You're getting your $100 a day. Right now, this car gets in the shop, and let's just say it stays in the shop for a full 30 days. All right, so it stays in the shop for a full 30 days. All right, being repaired. All right, being repaired. Now, so the whole time this car is in the shop, guys, you are losing income. You are not making any money anymore. All right. So you're not making any money anymore. So you're losing out. Yes, it's being repaired. So once you take it over to Toyota to go get it fixed, right? And Toyota tells you, oh, we got to go order parts. It's going to take us a while to get this car back on the road. It's going to take us about a month. All right. So between the time you hand it over to Toyota and the time it comes out from Toyota and then you get your car back, right? Guess what, guys? You are no longer making your $100 a day. All right, you are no longer making your $100 a day. Somebody needs to compensate you for that. All right, it was not your fault that the insurance company's client decided to hit you, and now they have caused you loss. Right, you suffered loss of use of your vehicle, and so you need to get paid the $100 per day times the 30 days that this car was out in the shop, in shop. All right, so that's what you are entitled to. Then that's what is that? That's going to be about $3,000, right? $3,000. So you are entitled to $3,000 in compensation for that car being in shop because that's how much you would have made if the car had been available to you. All right, so that's your loss of use. All right, so that's the way, pretty much in a nutshell, this is how you calculate loss of use. All right, so you take the number of days that the car has been down, and then, oh, not only this, so it's not only just the number of days that it's been in the shop, right? Obviously, you have to show them a little bit more, right? So you're gonna need to show them your rental sheet, right? So let me just kind of they're gonna need to see your rate sheet, right? So they would want to see a few things from you, right? So obviously, like your rate sheet or your website where it shows that the car rents out for $100 a day. You can't just tell them verbally that yeah, I rent my car for $100,000 a day. They're not gonna listen to that, all right? So it has to be legitimate, okay, guys? It has to be legitimate, a legitimate claim. So you got to show them proof of that. All right, that's number one. They want to see your rate sheet. All right. So number two, also you're gonna have to show evidence that you put this car in a repair shop. All right. So you're gonna need some kind of repair shop estimate, right? Repair shop estimate, and some kind of a time-stamped document from the repair shop showing when they took possession of the car, right? Typically their estimate, and once you've handed it over to them, it's typically sufficient for these guys, all right? And then most of them want to see your rental history. All right, they want to see that you've actually been renting this car out. Okay, because if you just got this car in maybe January the 1st and then an accident occurred January the 2nd, you can't start claiming loss of use. Yeah, they might pay it because still you're a rental car agency. You are going to make money with the car, but then it's going to be a tougher fight to prove that point because there's no history that this car was making you money prior. All right, it wasn't in operation. It was only been in operation for 24 hours. So they could use that as a way to haggle you further down, right? So this is kind of the way that people make a whole lot of money in this game, especially when it comes into the exotics, right? Because guys, think about it, right? The average Lamborghini or whatever rents out, like my Lambo rents out for $14.99 a day, right? And when my car's in the shop, and if it's in the shop for a whole month, you could do the math. So I mean, that's a lot of money. That's almost $50,000. That's how I get these big checks, right? So whenever my cars get into an accident, I'm good. Like, see, a lot of you guys, you're like, oh wow, see, that's the problem with this rental car business. Cars get into accidents. I don't really care. All right, I'm excited when that happens because I'm going to make a good check. All right, so now let's talk about the flip side to this. So now that you guys know how to calculate this, right? Now, how much does the insurance company actually have to pay you? All right, this is a good question. And how much do they pay you, and do they have to pay you? All right, this is really important, and I need you guys to kind of understand a few things here, right? So the few most important things that you guys need to understand is the difference between a first party claim and a third party claim. All right, so a first party claim, right? A first party claim, that's when you are filing on your own insurance. All right, you're filing on your own insurance. All right, a lot of insurance companies, they might not pay you, most likely won't even pay you loss of use on first party claims. So maybe you damage your own car, or if you're in or for some reason you're filing on your own insurance policy, then that could be a reason why they deny it. All right, that's number one. So first party claims, a lot of times they deny those. Right. Now third party claims, right? If it's a third party claim, yes, in majority of the states in the United States, so third party claims, and that's when somebody else hits you, a third party hits your renter or whatever, third party claim, yes, that's when they would pay. All right, a majority of them would pay out on third-party claims. Okay, so be very careful. Make sure you understand the difference between these two. All right, now if you say for some reason you go wreck your car, or your renter wrecks your car, but you still file in your own insurance policy, you can't be claiming loss of use. You're not going to get that. All right, so and there's several case law out there that you guys can cite, and you guys can Google that, ChatGPT it, and find out, and then that will support and let you know, give you more background information on this, especially for your state. All right. So I just kind of wanted you guys to understand this. Like third-party claims, most likely you're going to get denied on a lot of third-party claims, or first-party claims. Most likely you're going to get denied on those. But now first-party claims, yeah, third-party claims, you guys will get approved on those. All right. So majority of the time. All right. So those are very easy to collect on. All right. So another thing too is, all right, what scenarios, right? When could insurance deny loss of use? All right. And this is very important, right? So there's certain scenarios where they will deny loss of use. Number one, like I mentioned, first party claims. So first party claims, you will get denied. First party claims, all right, you'll get denied. First party claims. All right, that's one scenario. Number two is if the language is in the policy. And Progressive is notorious with that for sometimes, all right? If it's in the contract, if in the contract, if it says in the contract no loss of use, they will deny that also. All right, that's another thing too. So if it's specifically stated in the contract, you're not going to get that. If you can't also prove that the car was used for a rental, so no proof of rental income. So no proof of rental income. So then how can you be arguing for something you don't have proof of? Right? So no proof of rental income. So typically when we file these claims, I would have to send them not only like my website so they can see it on there and see the pricing, I'll send them rental history, like periods of time when we've rented out the car for that price, and maybe over the past month or two. All right, so they want to see some data, historical data to back your claim. All right, so this is also really important, guys. All right, so that you have that just to make sure you get your claim paid. And like I said earlier, so it's going to be first party claims. If it's in the contract, some insurance companies specifically put in, there's an exclusion saying that they do not cover a loss of use. They don't pay out loss of use. You can't do anything about that. Now, another thing too is also states where they do the no faults. So no fault states are notorious for that. All right. So no fault states, some no fault states will not pay loss of use. All right. So also be aware of that. Right. So no fault is where, like, you get into an accident and you just have to file, even if it's not your fault, you have to file on your own insurance. All right, some states like that have those limitations with loss of use, right? So I think Florida is one of those, New Jersey is one of those, I think Michigan is one of those, Minnesota, Kentucky, I believe, North Dakota. I forget, there's a few states out there that are no fault states. So if you're in one of those states, it could be a little difficult to get loss of use in those states. All right, so just be mindful of that. So no fault states, late state limitations, no fault states won't be able to get loss of use. All right, now these are just a few of the scenarios where this can backfire and you won't get loss of use. Also, guys, minor things too is like if you don't take it into the shop, maybe you delay or you don't take it into the shop, or don't repair or take it into the shop. Don't repair the car. These could be instances where they won't pay you loss of use, right? And this happens all the time, right? Sometimes people just want to scam the system, or maybe for some reason you sat on your butt and you didn't take the car on time to go get it fixed. Say the accident happened on January the 1st. You didn't get around to taking the car to the repair shop till January the 20th, but then you're expecting insurance to pay you loss of use for that entire period of time. It's just not going to happen. All right. The clock starts ticking from when it goes, you hand over the keys to the repair shop. That's when they would start to consider paying you guys your money. All right. So now that you guys, so let's just assume now that you guys, you did everything right. All right. None of these apply to you and you did everything right. Right. How do you prove loss of use, and how do you win your claim? Right. So this is also very important. Right. So now once you guys are ready, you got all your documents, all your ducks in a row. How do you prove it? How do you win your claim? All right. Like I mentioned earlier, you need to kind of give them like maybe a screenshot of your website. So a screenshot of your website or your rate sheet, right? So they want to kind of see that, this car goes out for a certain amount of money, that, you operate a real business. So you got to give them, I'll send like a screenshot of my website. We'll send our pricing on there. They can easily just go there, or the website address. They can go there, go see it. And then we send screenshots of historical data from our rental software, Fleet Finesse, where they can go and then they can go see that, oh yeah, they rented out these cars several times for a certain amount of money. All right. So that's one thing that these guys are going to need from you guys. And then the second thing also, like, it's going to be rental history. So you're going to need rental history, right? You need rental history. So rental history, and I mentioned that earlier, but rental history comes in here. So go into your CRM, if you're using Fleet Finesse or whatever you're using, go into your rental software, like Fleet Finesse. So fleetfinesse.com. We'll go in there and then we'll go grab screenshots, go to the reservation tab, and then you just go grab, screenshots or printouts of all the different rentals where customers actually paid for the car. You're going to need that to buttress your point, right? To kind of back up your claim so they can pay you guys. All right. You're going to need your repair estimate, right? That's the next thing. You're going to need your repair estimate. They need to see that the dealership is actually working on this car. All right. So you need your repair estimate to show them. And that's it. Oftentimes, you might need your rental agreement, stuff like that. But once you have all of that, guys, there's no reason why they won't pay your claim. So I'll just throw in rental agreement here, just to show that, a real transaction occurred, right? So your rental agreement is necessary. And pardon my handwriting, guys. I know I write like a chicken. But yeah, so these are the things that you guys will need. Once you have all of this stuff, you go ahead and you send this to your adjuster. And then they should 100% honor your claim. So once you guys have all of this stuff, you submit it to the insurance company. Typically, you send that in the form of a demand letter, right? You just type up a little demand letter, letting them know, breaking all of this stuff down, that this car has been out for 30 days and this is my rental rates. You give them all the things that we spoke about earlier, right? Provide them all the proof we spoke about, right? Your website, your rate sheet, your rental history, things, just all the stuff that I itemized earlier. You put that all into a demand letter and send that off to the adjuster, right? Now, guys, and just to keep it 100% real with you guys, they will never pay you 100% of what you asked for unless that adjuster just love the heck out of you. Like if you got the hookup, or man, you've got a good company representing you for your claims, or a lawyer or whatever, or you're really good at this stuff, I personally have never had them pay 100% of my loss of use. So if you guys can get that, that's amazing. All right, 9 times out of 10, the adjuster is going to want to negotiate with you guys. All right, I don't know if they get commission on these things or what. It's just part of their job. They need to have, it needs to be a win-win for both parties, right? So they will always negotiate. And when I say negotiate, I mean big time negotiate it, right? Like they might even go 50%, 60%, you know, right? They want to cut off of it. So meaning they want to pay you 40% of your claim or 30% of your claim. And that's just normal, guys. All right. Don't expect to get 100%. It rarely ever happens. Okay. Rarely ever happens. This is one of the things where like, hey, if you got something, hey, icing on the cake, right? That's good because let's call a spade a spade. Most likely, your car wasn't going to have 100% utilization, anyways. So the fact that they're willing to give you a big chunk of that, is still good money. We weren't going to get that anyways. So now that's the way it would work. So there's going to be like a back and forth, guys. You guys start going back and forth with them via email or phone call. It's just a negotiation process. They might even try to stall you, keep you on ice to see if you just back off, right? You just stay on them, right? You stay on them, and then now if they choose not to pay or they refuse to pay you, and you know for a fact that you've met the entire criteria, you're not in a no fault state, that you're not in the contract. Maybe you can request to see the contract, whoever hits you, their insurance contract, and make sure there is no stipulation that says that the insurance company doesn't pay loss of use, right? Because sometimes they might just claim that, yes, sorry, we don't pay loss of use. Let me see that in writing, right? So you could demand that, right? Demand to see that. A lot of times too, the agents with the insurance company that handles loss of use are typically junior level agents. So you could escalate this to a supervisor, request to speak to a supervisor, so that way you guys could try to argue your point, and then threaten. You could even, matter of fact, you could even go file a complaint with the state insurance department, right? That's one thing you guys need to understand about insurance companies. They don't want to fight you. Like, they don't want to fight you legally, or they don't like it when you try to escalate things. That always causes them to comply. So always be prepared, guys. Maybe if you know it's a legitimate claim you have, don't be scared to threaten them with legal action. It always, because it costs them way more money to go fight you, even if it's small. It costs them way more money to fight you in small claims court, because their lawyers cost them way more than yours does, right? Their lawyers are billing them thousands per hour, right? So it's way cheaper for you to go fight them in court than it is for them to show up. So they would happily just pay you out so they can close the books on that claim and just keep it moving. All right. So guys, that's pretty much how you guys file loss of use for your rental cars. If you guys are ever in a situation where you got in an accident, or a renter got in an accident with your car or whatever, this is how you guys really, it increases your revenue, guys, because you could have a claim where maybe, like, there was a time when someone hit my Lambo and it barely cost us $4,000 or $5,000 to fix. But we got almost 50, 60,000 in loss of use, guys. So this stuff really, really works, and you can make a lot of money off of this. All right. So it's all about how you guys, you guys just need to learn the game. And this is how, matter of fact, there's rental car companies that make more money from loss of use than they do even renting cars because they've just gotten so good at it. Okay. And so I hope this video was helpful, guys. I'm going to be posting a whole lot more here on YouTube than my Instagram channel. I just want to focus my efforts on YouTube for a while. And so I need you guys also support me so I can put out more content like this. So if this was actually helpful to you guys, I want to see a whole bunch of likes. I want to see some engagement. Ask some questions. I'm going to be answering you guys, right? And let's get this video going. I want a lot of views on these videos, so that way, and then if you haven't subscribed also, I want my subscription count going up. I want to beat 10,000 followers before the end of this next month. And then I want to see that by December, I need to be at least at 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. So guys, I'm going to keep posting until we get there. So I want you guys to support me and help me get there. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you on the next one.